So, hi, I am, well, this isn't going well already, is it? This is the first thing that I've done like this, I guess, is where I should start. I am an amateur artist. I draw as a hobby. I'm a scientist. I'm working on my PhD. I'm almost done. Yay! PhD in evolution. I work with fish. I love animals. I draw fish. That's why Instagram name probably will be my YouTube name when I get this up. One Fish Art. So I do this as a hobby. I do this on the side. I do this to relax. I do this because I've done it since I can remember. And recently I've had a few people, mostly friends, ask for me to maybe do a small sketchbook tour, just to give them something to look at, to see how it goes. And I thought that could be kind of fun. So I thought I'd start with this sketchbook. It's kind of the first one I've drawn consistently in. I made it back over right around Christmas. I had bought this big pad of A3 paper that I was planning on doing a scientific illustration course online. And I bought this big pad of paper, and then everything got super busy and I just didn't do it. So then I was like, great, I've got this big pad of A3 paper and I don't draw that big. I never draw anything that big. I do have one drawing I did in it that was pretty good size, and maybe at some point I'll show you that drawing. We'll see. It is on my Instagram somewhere. It's from December, so if you look that far back. But anyway, so I decided, why not take all those pages and make them into a size that I would normally draw in, something this size. This is an A5, I think. It's like, it's smaller than an A4. I don't know British sizes. I'm clearly American, but I'm living in Scotland, so I go back and forth between measurements and stuff. I apologize. So this is something that I've completely made from hand. Well, obviously I didn't make like the fabric, but I've bought it and put it all together. So this guy has, how many pages do we have? I've numbered them. 9,900 pages in the whole book. As you saw, the last page is like a swatch page I was doing. So 100 pages, and I'm halfway through it, which I can say is like the most consistently I've ever drawn in a sketchbook before, and I'm pretty proud of that. So I thought I would share the first 50 pages because we are up farther than that now, but I thought it'd be fun to share kind of where I am and just to see what I've been working on. So this will be a collection of some finished-ish pieces, some complete pieces that I used for March of Robots, and some sketches as well. So I'll just start it off, I guess. So this is faux leather. I bought a big, huge, I think I bought like 2 meters of it to use for projects. I have another book I made for my niece, and I'm thinking maybe my next video I'll kind of show you that a little bit, because it's more of a crafty multimedia project that's kind of fun. But anyway, so the problem is I'm still working on learning how to get this binding, which turned out okay for my first try, to stick to this. And I think the problem is just the glue that I got is just not made for this. So the cool thing is this is actually tartan scrap from kilts, from a local kilt maker. They do these grab bags on Amazon, and they just kind of give you whatever. I don't remember what this tartan is. I could look it up, but if I told you right now, I'd probably be wrong. So that's the inside cover, and then it's just stitch bound all the pages together. And started it in February. This is a drawing of my doggo. He's super cute. And some stickers I got. This is from an artist on Twitter. I bought her sticker set on Redbubble because it was way too cute. I honestly can't remember her name, and I've tried to look it up so that I could have it. Hopefully maybe I'll have it during the editing process and it can like appear on the screen. This is from Hannah Hall on Instagram. She was kind enough to send me a sticker pack for a Draw This in Your Style that I did, and I think my next sketchbook tour I'll show that drawing, because I thought maybe I'll show like my travel sketchbook and what I bring with me when I travel, because I travel a lot. For conferences, it's not fun travel, it's just travel. So anyway, this is first page, started in February, so I started with planning for March of Robots, and what I wanted to do, because robots aren't my thing, I'm not good with pointy, technical things, so I thought maybe I'll draw my dog as if he was a robot. And I don't know if you know the show Robot Jones. I'm kind of older, and it was on Cartoon Network back in like the late 90s or something, but it kind of almost came out with that style. So I wanted to get like some expressions, like how would you get an expression in a robot dog, and kind of starting to get myself out of my comfort zone of what I would normally draw. This is just him interacting with a friend's dog. She asked me if I could draw her little Shiba, and I was like, yeah, okay. So kind of drew that, and I did that digitally, and I think that's on my Instagram as well right now, but I'm not sure. So this is just him, some facial expressions. This is a little envelope that I just keep like my little pieces of paper with my Instagram name on for putting on certain drawings. I don't do it very often, but I wanted to find a place to keep them. So I just made a little envelope, stuck it in here. Little more, this is Hugspot. So my dog's name is Hugin. I call him Hugs. So this is Hugspot, and he's just very in love with you. And I wanted to maybe do an idea of him maybe chasing a rabbit, and then I just got like obsessed with drawing cute, fluffy, kind of scared looking rabbits. I don't know, but they're adorable, and I was kind of playing with like a brush pen just to see how it worked. I got my first Tombow, and I wanted to see what I could do with it. Just another idea, there was like one of the prompts for something was like a fancy dress party, and I was like, oh, maybe I can like do something with that. And then there was like a ball, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll just like pull champagne glass, and I don't know, I was just playing around. So we've got, this is just an idea for one of the prompts, and I'm using it to kind of block all of this pencil from rubbing off on the next page. So this is a rook I was working on drawing. I'm not good at birds, so I need to get some practice. This is a jackdaw, I think. And then we've got the first prompt for March of Robots was smoke. So I thought, sorry, that's my chair. Just do maybe a gas mask, Doctor Who reference. I wanted to play with these brown Fineliners, sepia Fineliners that I got. So I thought some oyster mushrooms would be fun because they have lots of textures, and just get an idea of how they worked. So this is where we're getting into March of Robots. So wanted to try and play with some line art styles. This is definitely a Doctor Who reference, but I'm kind of in love with it. And trying to play with some different illustration styles of the lines and the smoke to maybe indicate movement, where it's a little harder when you've got lines. And then just kind of going into the different ideas. I won't go too long into this because they're all up on my Instagram, but I basically decided I wanted to stick with a few colors that would be consistent throughout all the pieces if I used color. So basically picked a dark blue color because black on white is kind of boring. So I thought maybe if he was like a dark blue, and I wanted to give where the fur would blend, like almost like a spray painted look. So I played with adding a little bit of water to the ends with a small brush. So these are the three colors that are repeated. They were actually the color theme for my bullet journal for the month of March. So I wanted to like keep those kind of consistent throughout the month. And then I've got just kind of that repeating with the different themes up on the top. So this is the key for Erebor. My sister got it for me as a necklace, and so I used it because I was like, oh, let's, you know, make another nerd reference, because why not? They're all the things I love. This one I'm really happy with because I kind of tried to draw how his face would be reflected in a sphere, and I think for my first try I did kind of alright. I mean, it's not perfect, but it looks kind of like it's stretched and rounded, so I'm pretty happy with that. Also the first time I've drawn crystals, so that went over well. this is my brother's dog. His name is Rowan, and we call him the Row Bro. And I was like, that's already a robot dog name, so why not make him the Row Bro? And they used to do this when we lived together and play with sticks, and it was really adorable. They'd find the biggest stick they could carry together. It was adorable. I like this one a lot too, just like the feeling of it. So there was a lot of the stuff in here that I did that was very different. So you can see some of the dates I got a little off track, but I did go back and do them all. I was actually traveling, took myself on a vacation for my birthday, and ended up doing them all on like the last day of my vacation, sitting in a pub and in Ireland, and just was like, oh, let's do some quick drawings, and then colored them all when I got back. So I did like 4 or 5 drawings that day, and then you can see they get a little bit more detailed again after that. I like how this mountain turned out. There's that rabbit idea coming in, a little robot fish, which was really fun because it's what I do. And here's where I kind of deviated from the colors I was using because I thought I wanted to do something a little bit more colorful. So you can see like they change a little bit as we go. I like this one, I think it's cute. And I was kind of just playing with different line textures and stuff. I like this one. This was my ball idea from that sticky note, and kind of trying to do a little galaxy effect, but this paper isn't made for watercolor, so I didn't want to add like too much water to it and have it not do well. Some more prompts, again playing with the lines for smoke, and some little yoga break. I like this one, and it's based on that scene from 101 Dalmatians with Purdy and God, I can't remember the human names for that movie. Sorry, it's been a long time since I've seen it. So this one, because it was more like a illustrative kind of piece, I didn't put the title up there. I don't even remember what the prompt was, but it worked. I think it might have been park or bench or something like that. Gotta get the little UK reference in there. So guard hat, of course, another nerdy Avengers reference there, with a prompt of a sun. This is another one that I liked. I think it was point or hunt or something, but I thought, you know, robot dog, why can't he be a hunting dog? So again, just playing with textures and shapes and stuff. And then it got to April, and I was like, oh, maybe I'll do another drawing challenge. I'll tell you now, spoilers, it didn't work. I did not have time. So I kind of was looking at a few different, I think one of the prompt lists was Apricot Safari. It was like African animals, and I think the other one was like April colors, and then there was like a mythical one. So you can see I wrote the 3 prompts, but I can't remember where they came from. So this first is, I'm not gonna say it right, so I'm not even gonna try, but it's a Japanese myth of like an otter with like saber hands, and I just thought it was cute. And then there's like lion and ghostly, so that's why the lion kind of doesn't have pupils, and I thought it would be fun to like bring that smoke theme back. I really like doing those. They come up later, I think. Maybe not until the next time I do the other half. But yeah, just using those kind of textures and lines and shapes, and I was in this trance. And then apparently I started really liking filling in the backgrounds with black, so I did that. Let's not look at that yet because it's terrible. This one is again from the prompts. Banshee and Impala, and I can't remember where the insects came from. It might have been insects or something, but another kind of mishmash of trying to put a piece together from 3 different prompts, and I really like this one. So banshees scream to warn of death, and moths are kind of, even though they're really pretty, like these are mostly natural colors for these moths that I was using as references. They're kind of associated with like dark and like old things and stuff. And then, so of course I was like, well, why don't I do a skull? And I'm pretty happy. This is the first skull I remember drawing in like the last like 15 years, and it looks pretty good. And I was like, oh, like, okay, I can still draw skulls. I can't draw people. I'm so bad. Like, so bad. So the next couple pages are a bit embarrassing, but we're gonna do them anyway because I like to be honest, and I'm in my 30s, so I don't really care anymore. Just put it that way. So this is me trying to get faces down, and I was using other artist drawings as references, and I just couldn't. But it was mermaid, so I wanted to try, because clearly I got real busy in April. So the next thing you're gonna see is a really bad mermaid, and I'm gonna apologize straight up front for her. Yeah. The concept, I think, could have worked. Koi carp was the prompt, and my koi are cute because I draw fish. So, yeah, as this pointed. Also, I got some gold ink and I wanted to play with it. And mostly this drawing, the reason she's bald is because I wanted to play with the gold ink. And I thought, why not? And I think, honestly, she wouldn't have been terrible until I tried to do, like, the koi carp whiskers, and that was my downfall. Like, I didn't even put them on these guys. I just gave them little bumps like goldfish. I didn't even put like, the whiskers on them because I was so upset about the whiskers. Yeah. Someday we'll revisit her. So I thought, all right, let's try to learn to draw some faces. So I went and did a few tutorials, and these were kind of like direct copies from the tutorials, but me being able to mimic the shapes that someone's tutorial's done is still a win for me. So I was pretty happy with that. And the prompt for the next page was cherry barb, so this was me just playing with what a cherry barb looks like, and maybe like trying to figure out what I wanted the shapes to be, so I could at least have a little bit more planning. And it's a little better, but I'm not going to tell you it's good, because it's not. Right, here we go. Yeah, she's not great, but she looks a hell of a lot better than the last one. So, you know what? I'll take it. Because I spent like 4 hours drawing faces. I also have like, I recycled like 10 sheets of printer paper because I just was like, I can't waste that many pages of this nicer paper. And a friend that I inherited the flat from left me like a stack of like 400 sheets of printer paper. Another friend moved and gave me another 400 sheets. So I've got printer paper on printer paper on printer paper and no printer. So if you ever watch my Sunday fish sketch stories, that's a mouthful. I'll often show me sketching on printer paper because then I throw them on my window, which I'm using for a light box. Except for today, my light box came and I'm so excited. So now I can draw after dark. Anyway, so the next prompt was eel, maybe? I don't remember, but I was like, what if we draw a punk rock teenage Ursula with her cute little eels? Because I love Flotsam and Jetsam. I love them. I don't know why. I just love them. And actually, this one turned out okay, and I decided to start playing with doing it digital, which I'm not good at. But people were a little bit easier in digital because I could draw them, I could flip them around and look at them back and forth. I could select areas, shrink and grow those areas to kind of play with my proportions a little bit easier than erasing over and over and over again. So I kind of switched to digital for Mermaid, which I didn't finish, but I did like 8 drawings, and that was pretty good for me. Because then I got really busy again. I had a conference, I had some stuff due, I had a lot going on. So I drawing kind of went to the side, except for my travel sketchbook, which, future. So I think is now where we get back into sketches, and I kind of stopped putting the dates on things. So this is from, I'll turn it, the Pokemon Fusion thing that was going around, and I did a fusion of Gyarados and Tauros, and I thought it was just funny to make him like a rampaging bull. So this was me just kind of playing with like bulls and like what do their legs look like? Like what are legs? So this is me kind of taking a couple drawings from like bull stampedes and stuff, like, you know, like running of the bulls they do in Spain or whatever it is. And so just kind of playing with shapes, and this ended up, I did it as a watercolor, and that's up on my Instagram as well. There's another project I'm working on that is, what do you call them? I've just forgotten the word. Tarot cards. And I have like a mythical theme in mind. So I've done a jackalope, and the next up is unicorns. This is me playing with like unicorns, but you can see like horses are what I grew up drawing. It's the first thing I learned to draw. It's what my mom taught me to draw. It's what my mom draws. It's like all she draws. And this horse made me disappointed because look at his legs. Those proportions are just, they're not right. This is like a weird pony with too big of a head. So I was like, no, you're disappointing. I'm starting over. And I got this little cute guy, this little foal, and you can see I tried to draw like some boxes to try to figure out where things should be and stuff, and that worked quite a bit better. So he's going to be a painting hopefully in the next 3 weeks. It keeps being on my to-do list, but my to-do lists go out the window all the time. So this is some sketches I was doing. I have been a fan of, for the last maybe 8 or 9 months, of like watching artists on YouTube and just having it on as background. And there's a few I really, really like. And one of the ones that I really like to have on a lot is Dina Norland. I really like the way she uses watercolor. It's something that is it's kind of me, like I kind of use them that way, not as well, but I kind of trend towards the same, I guess, tones and stuff. It reminds me of what I want mine to look like. It's very much a style that I appreciate, and so I just bumped my mic, sorry. So I enjoy watching her stuff and her creature challenges. I did a creature challenge for January, which I completed all of, and I was pretty happy, and I really enjoyed doing that. It's something I'd never done. And so I was like, oh, maybe I'll do this one. Like, I've been watching her creature design videos for a while, and I thought maybe I'd do this one. It was like owl, bear, and mask were the prompts. So this was me kind of sketching like what do wings look like, what's a cute drawing of a bear that I could find on Pinterest, and this one was adorable and I loved it, and I was very happy with the outline, and then I'm going to do something with it at some point because that's the best bear I've ever drawn. And then like what owls look like, what their faces look like. Maybe I could do something like this, and then this was me like trying to figure out what watercolors I could use together. I wanted to maybe do an ice design, but then I thought those are okay, but I really liked those, like the mossy green with the browns, and so this is what I came up with. And I think it's really cute, and I've got little bears, and it just kind of was the feeling that I was trying to get, and I got actually like a decent glow effect around the eye that I'm pretty happy with as well, because that was kind of something that I did for one of my Pokemon drawings. Almost every Sunday I paint a Pokemon, a fish Pokemon, and so when I did Chinchu, I figured out this kind of way to get this glow, but it takes a lot of layers, and this paper's nice, but it's not watercolor paper, so it can only handle so much water before it starts freckling. So it's Smogust, and I'm now drawing dragons, and I own a bearded dragon, so I was like, why not sketch from my own personal little pocket dragon? So she was running around the house, and I was just like sketching her legs and her toes and her face and stuff. And then this was me kind of playing with the shapes and figuring out what I could stretch and what I couldn't. And I started really liking this idea of like a docile, like herbivorous pet dragon, not unlike a bearded dragon. So I kind of came up with an idea. So I'm gonna move this out of the way real quick. This was me. I wanted to maybe be based off a koala because they're like cute herbivorous little guys. So I drew some koala shapes, and then I just decided to get right into it, and I drew this little fed up with your nonsense bearded dragon. but like with wings and kind of slightly different anatomy. I just kind of really like the way that it all came together. So I came up with like a little bit of ecology. So I decided this is the male version of this species, and they're like this pinky purple color. The darker the blue on the throat, the more dominant the male is, but they've got these nice purple heads and wings, and so people really like them in this kind of world that I'm building because of their colors, and they're only about yay big, and so you can like keep them as pets, and they eat veggies, so they're like a rich people pet that they buy for their kids when they're like, I don't want you around, just go take care of your pet. So little pet herbivorous dragons. So kind of the last thing, like I said, every Sunday I paint a Pokemon. I've started taping them in here because I keep recycling them, and I was like, but sometimes like sketch pages are kind of fun, and I might want to revisit the design. So this is, like I said, all that printer paper I have. So a few weeks ago I did Mantike. So this is just kind of the sketches that I use. I ended up using this little one here because I thought it was cute and happy, and it was a little bit better than maybe this one, but I also really like this one, so I might paint this one at some point, because Pokemon are really fun to paint because it's like cell shading, basically. There's no like, there's not a lot of anatomy to them. They break a lot of rules. They're kind of fun. So yeah, so that's my sketchbook so far. Still a ways to go, and I've got it filled up to like here last night, sneak peek. So that's page 69. So we'll revisit that maybe, hopefully in like the next couple of months. So I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching. And it's gonna be kind of choppy because my camera stops recording at 12 minutes, and I kept forgetting to set a timer, so I never know when it was gonna end. So I just kept talking, and then it would like cut off. And hopefully the transitions won't be terrible, because I've not edited film since high school, and that was 14 years ago. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. If there's interest, I'll do another one. I might do another one even if there's not interest, because this was kind of fun, and I kind of learned a little bit about my own art by talking about it, because I don't do that very often. I don't really have art friends. So as cheesy as it sounds, if you want to be my art friend, I'm over on Instagram at onefishart. I'll probably be here at the same. My goal for now is maybe one upload every 2 weeks, but my thesis will be handed in 2 weeks, so maybe for a little bit after that I can go to once a week. We'll see how hard this is to edit, because I have no idea. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for listening to me ramble, and hopefully I'll see you soon.